to my channel. This is Dave Sports Convo. Please like, share, and subscribe. And most of all, enjoy the video.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of my podcast that I am resuming and kicking off today. Be on the lookout for my new content. I'm going to talk about the state of Detroit sports. I know it's been a minute since you've heard from me, but that's all right. I'm here. I'm here now, and there's no excuse for it at all. No reason either. You're not going to get it. Other than, hey, let's enjoy what we got going on here. All right? Let's do it. Now, like I said, I'm going to talk about the state of Detroit sports. I'm going to go through each of the 4 organizations, the main 4 of the 4 main sports that we all love and cherish. I'm not talking college football, and I know that would dominate any college sport as a whole, especially college basketball, and we can go on and on. I'm talking about the major leagues, okay? I'm talking about MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA, the 4, all right? Now, for a lot of you, it's like what you devote your lives to. It could be one of them. It could be all 4. I luckily dabble in all 4, even though I'm repping the Lions and have all these football jerseys around and football memorabilia. I dabble in all 4. That's why we're having the convo now. But now it's the Lions off season. This is my time that I have the focus on these other 3 teams from the 4. And I'm going to go down through the worst to the best. So I'm going to talk Detroit Lions last. Sorry for everyone that's all here for the Lions talk. I got to talk about the other franchises that are driving me crazy as a Detroit area fan. And so let's do it. Let's break it down. Now, the first one that's driving us the most crazy right now. I don't know about you all, but it sucks because they're playing today at 6:40. So we're going to get reminded how bad they are and get blown out by the Toronto Blue Jays, as we did yesterday, 9-1. It's embarrassing. It's hard to watch, and I'm glad I didn't go to a Detroit Tigers game when I was up in Detroit recently, because I ain't giving them my money. Sorry, Scott Harris, you're not getting it until the team is presentable to the league. We are literally like one of the worst. We drafted all right, we'll see. Now we'll see based on previous regimes if we drafted all right. Now, that's the thing. I didn't have huge expectations going into the season. I don't know about the rest of you Tigers fans, but I think a lot of you were with me that we didn't expect to go 500. 500 would have been a happy bonus little tie on the season. Would have been like, okay, we're moving forward. We're looking good. Even though we've been rebuilding for 10 years, we're still rebuilding. And that's what Scott Harris just came in to take care of all the former regime's problems. So my big take here, okay? Obviously, they're trying to go based on the youth movement and see how that drives them. And be cheap. You know, they didn't spend at all in the season or the off-season prior leading up to the regular season. So we all, like as other Tigers fans, didn't have much expectations. So that's what the results we're getting. And now the biggest concern is hopefully that all the players we drafted are developing right. Now, how they're not developing is putting Javier Baez in the lineup every day going 0 for 4 every day, every game. Like has the most at bats on the team. Like, how are we developing? We know he's trash. And anybody here, I'm the only guy in probably the country that has a Detroit Tigers Javier Baez jersey. I do own it. My mom got it for me. I love that jersey, all right? Even though he's the worst player in history. Guess what jersey didn't get stolen out of my bag at the airport? My Javier Baez jersey. You know what did get stolen? All my other Detroit Lions jerseys. Psh, I wonder why. Not get distracted with that. But the truth, all right? So that's the thing. They're putting Javier Baez in the rotation. Every time that happens, A.J. Hitch should be embarrassed, and we should question his coaching acumen. Even though I've never coached, I've never played baseball, that's the thing. Based on the results and everything that's happened, based on other people, that's why I'll take it every time he gets started. And again, this is a guy that has a Javier Baez jersey saying this. I have the right. And I love Javier Baez. He's a nice guy. But in terms of on the field and on production and holding back our youth core, that's the problem we're having here, is having him with the most at-bats. It sucks. Going 0 for 4 each game, it's terrible. I mean, especially we lost 9-1. Like, it's tough. It's tough. And another thing, big shout-out. Hopefully everyone's okay with this statement. Trade Tyreek Skullball. Hopefully I said that correct. Tyreek Skullball. The pitching ace, he's fantastic. It's just that it's not the right time in our team's development to have him because his talents are basically going away. We need to trade him for at least 2 good batters that can last a good 6-year period. And it sucks. It's gonna be hard finding a replacement Skullball in the future based on how he's pitching, and it's fantastic. But for this team, it's not right. And he needs to be on a competitive team. And hopefully the Yankees hit us up, give us something on return. And the reason I say Yankees, a lot of us don't like the New York Yankees. It's just that I assume they have the most to give us in terms of trading him, and seem like they have the most need for it. So hot take, trade. Hopefully I say his name right. Tariq Skubal away. Also Spencer Torkelson. It's not working out. It sucks. I was a fan. It's not working. Only bright thing we have is Riley Green, and we better re-sign him. We better keep him a long time. Hopefully they're listening. Sign Riley Green right now, Scott Harris. Do it. Do it. Coming from you live on that, okay? Not changing my mind on that. So, and then we have a game today just to remind everybody, 6-4 against the Blue Jays. I wonder how that goes, all right? Based on the last 3 games, we're probably going to put maybe 3 points on the board and then get blown out by 10. That's tough. That's tough. So I started with the Detroit Tigers just because, hey, they're currently playing. This is my current headache in the offseason for Detroit Lions. And that's the thing. This team, I just wish was all right. Okay, it would make the offseason for the Lions faster for me and other great Detroit fans that are diehards. And that's the thing. I'm jumping on the Tigers season late, and okay, you can get mad at me, but overall, look at the results. If they were, amazing in the beginning, which they did, they won a couple games in the beginning of the season. They get a little people hyped up, but we all know, put 20 games in, let's see what the record is, and that's what it is. So, in terms of the Detroit Tigers organization, I do not trust at the moment. I mean, I'm hoping for the best for Scottish because he just literally stepped into this position. Right now, I just don't trust ownership, but I do trust Scott Harris at the moment. I don't trust the coach he put in place, AJ Hinch. So we'll see what's going on. But he has a lot of work to do to get off the hole from the previous regime. And that's the thing that the current owner signed to. So we'll see. Right now, I don't have the most trust in this organization, but we're going forward. This is my team, my baseball team. I'm rooting for it, all right? And we all know who your favorite players, Miguel Cabrera. All right, so that is the Detroit Tigers. Now we're going to move on to the next big heartache organization that is driving me crazy. And not much to talk about. It's the Detroit Pistons. As the conference finals are going off, we got Game 2 tonight. What was it? Dallas versus, the Timberwolves. Let's see what happens. Game 2. Woo! That's going to be tough. That was a tough one. And that's the thing. The Pistons had the worst record in the NBA history. We're a joke, man. It drives me crazy. So let's get you some updates on the Pistons, even though the season's over and even though the NBA is still raging on. And that's why we're talking about it. So that's why I started with these 2 organizations, because technically the Pistons should be in your frontal lobe of thinking of excitement as a Detroit area fan. But overall, guess what? They're missing the mark. They didn't even make here's our headline. We just hired Taron Langdon for president of basketball operations for the Pistons. Former New York Pelicans executive. Huge loss for them. Big game for us. But, it sucks. He's a former client of Arn Tellem. Everything is connected to Arn Tellem, sports agency. And it's getting annoying. And this is the thing. A lot of you hated Troy Weaver, but now after this move, Troy Weaver was the only smart person or / person you could trust as a fan to do right for this team. And now he's in a position, Troy Weaver, after this new hire, he's going to be sitting there and just watching it as it all burns. Even though it's on fire anyway, it's just going to get more on fire. We'll see. And that's the thing. I feel bad throwing this new hire under the bus. I'm just throwing the owner, Tom Gores, under the bus because it's you're pandering to this sports agency that hasn't done nothing for you. and keeps letting you down, and you keep pandering to him, and you never try something new. Like that's the thing. I'm gonna trust. I hope I'm gonna hopefully Tyron Langdon is good. It sucks. It sucks he comes from bad stock, but overall, like that's what the Pistons got. I'm a fan still. You're not losing me as a fan. Are you making me watch more Miami Heat games? Yeah, especially a boy that was raised in Broward. I tell you what, yeah, I'm more interested in Miami Heat by the day than Detroit Pistons. And it's crazy right now. The Pistons have championships compared to these other Detroit teams that we all root for, and we're not gonna get it. It's just. Ugh. And another thing, we had the worst record back-to-back seasons, and this NBA draft lottery is stupid. Now it helps with tanking, and that's the thing. We were the worst team, so we shouldn't get the number 1 pick. Do you think we get number 2? Maybe number 3? Maybe number 4? No, we get number 5. It's defeating. Now, what's great about it, I guess we could shop it for a veteran, but imagine shopping the number 2 pick for a veteran. Still, like, hey, the worst team doesn't get the worst pick, the best pick. Let's go by that. We say we get number 2. It's a whole different negotiation than number 5. So hopefully we do trade it for a vet and hopefully make Cade Cunningham happy. And that's the thing. We're about to lose Cade Cunningham because we can't surround him with nothing. We can't help him. And that's the best player we've had in 20 years. And then he's going to blossom somewhere else. You're going to let him walk for nothing. I can already see it coming. And I don't want it to come. I want Cade Cunningham in a Pistons jersey for the rest of the time. We'll see if we get that. Now, that's the thing. So that's my Detroit Pistons talk. I know it's not much, but they don't give me much to talk about. I wish they could. Now, we'll see what the NBA lottery happens, and we'll see what we do. But this is the worst class that we've seen in a bit. Obviously, it doesn't have a Wembanyama that we should have. Imagine if this team had Wembanyama. We wouldn't be talking like we talking right now. We'd probably be a playoff team, and Cade Cunningham would probably have his best seat, and we wouldn't be in the position we are. That's the thing. This whole lottery sucks, especially for the Detroit Pistons. And that's the thing. The NBA has always been against the Detroit Pistons. Always. That's why. Detroit versus everybody. Let's go. Bad Boys for life. All right. Excited for Bad Boys 3, by the way, if you can tell. So, hey, that's the Detroit Pistons talk there. Moving on. Another organization driving me crazy, but probably not for the rest of you, because that's the thing. Detroit, it goes, in my opinion, based on experience, it goes Lions, Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers. Now, it depends on what area. The Tigers and Pistons one might move up and down. But a lot of you, Red Wings, either number 1 or number 2. For sure. So, they didn't make playoffs. Now, they didn't have the worst record like the Detroit Pistons, but they didn't make playoffs. Now, is everything on the up for the Red Wings? Yes. Every year, we love the improvement as fans that the great Steve Yzerman, former Red Wing, former Tampa Bay exec that led them to championships, is doing with this team. Every move he makes, I believe in. And that's the thing. The 2 previous organizations I just talked about, I don't believe in ownership, and I don't believe in recent hired executives because how bad ownership is. Now, in terms of ownership of the Red Wings, I totally believe in. the executive hire, Steve Yzerman, former player, former Red Wing, that actually loves and cares for this team. That's what was so great. Back, not to get distracted, on our best Detroit Pistons days, the golden era, was Joe Dumars at the helm. And a lot of people won't admit that, but him at the helm was great, even though some of the worst moves was under him as well. Some of the best moves of all time were. But again, a former Detroit Piston, becoming an executive for the Detroit Pistons, loves the Detroit Pistons, fights for their best interest, not just for a money game or waiting for the next spot. So Steve Yzerman's here. Now, a big poll just came out. We have the number 1 prospect pool, and that's leading with Simon. Hopefully I say these names right. Simon Ederson, Nate Danielson, and Marco Casper. Great. We got Mo Cedar. Let's go. He's the German boy. Let's go. That's the thing. We have the pieces. Our goalie's iffy compared to other teams, but that's the thing. The NHL is moving into a more offensive-driven league. So if you do have one of those top goalies, of course you're going to be one of the top teams, but it's hard to obtain that. So that's one of the big weak points we have on the team. But overall, that's the thing. In the direction we're moving, especially Steve Yzerman being in for at least 4 years now, we're going to on up. We're going to probably make playoffs next year. That's the thing. Everything is projected up for the Red Wings. So if you're a Red Wings fan, be happy, and you already know you're pretty happy. Even though it was a defeating loss, not making the playoffs, and you wanted to see some extra runway with the Red Wings to see how the the young cats do, but we're going to see that next year. And they're going to be more prepared next year. And that's the thing. So Red Wings are on the up. Let's go celebrate. All right. Now the moment you've been waiting for. Now I'm not going to go talk too much about Detroit Lions because next week I'll be doing this again for my next episode. But the next episode, even though I talked all Detroit sports area, not much is going on. Maybe a Tigers update might come up. Hopefully a trade for Skullball. But otherwise, next Friday, I'm going to go and really break down the Detroit Lions schedule. And that's the thing. You might be all like, why didn't you cover the schedule when it came out? Because obviously everyone else covered the schedule when it came out. I'm the guy to get you through the off season of coverage. All right, I'm the guy that's going to bring up the topics that you want better coverage on, that the mass media and mainstream media is getting wrong, even though they're getting it out on time or on delivery when any of these moves or things happen, especially with the NFL schedule release. But give me time, give me energy. You're going to have the best episode coming up. Let's go. Next Friday, 6 p.m. again. Woo! Be prepared. Bring your popcorn. Okay? Now, in terms of Detroit Lions, what we're going to talk about today is just go over the draft. Okay? Breakdown, not too much. But, hey, we had 6 picks that we take. Coming out great. All right? Now, I'm just going to throw a little piece. That's the thing. I'm going to have a way more better breakdown or more intrinsic breakdown of each one of these players as the weeks come on. But as of right now, here's my quick thing. Terran Arnold from Alabama. We traded up to pick 24 to get him. And the Raiders almost picked him at 13. It was a coin flip. Look it up. Scary news. Thank gosh they didn't do that. So, round 1, pick 24, Terran Arnold, Alabama. That's my favorite pick of this class. It's easy to say that for the first round. But overall, and Brad Holmes, we trust everyone. No matter who he picked, I'm going to come out happy and root for these guys because I trust this guy way more than any other GM in my lifetime. And also, in terms of ownership, Sheila Hamp-Ford, thank you for giving this man an extension. The best owner in my lifetime and best owner ever. The only reason that she's not valued that way is because of what Super Bowl championships? They're about to be coming starting next year. According to Dan Campbell, you checked his latest interview on DetroitLions.com. I'll share it later. So, Terran Arnold. That's my next jersey. That's who I'm getting. I was at the NFL draft in Detroit. That's who I'm getting. I predicted it. If you saw any of my stuff prior, Terran Arnold to the Detroit Lions. Saw it. Did I think we were going to trade up? No. Did I think he was going to fall to us? Yes. But also, did I also think he was going to be out of reach for us was the main thing? Yes. I thought he was going to be taken at pick no later than pick 20. But again, I don't know. So, Terry on Alabama, he's going to be amazing. And then we brought in Carlton Davis. He could be the number one to take all that stuff so we don't have to just thrush him into number one coverage, ease him into it. And let's see how he goes. Not everyone's Sauce Gardner, you know? But if he is, plus anything else is amazing. And that's the thing. No matter what, he's an upgrade than anything we had last year. For sure. Automatically. Day one, stepping in. Now, round 2, we follow up at pick 61. We go Ennis Reckershaw. Woo! 2 corners. Whoa, freak out. No. That's what we needed to do. Upgrade the man press coverage ability of all these corners. Let's get those guys in. Let's have them in. We're done with the whole. Let's actually give Aaron Glenn the personnel he needs to actually be successful. So then we can evaluate if he's a good defense coordinator. I believe he's one of the best defense coordinators in my lifetime. But I get based on the results and everything like that. But he's also dealing with the worst personnel defense that the Lions have ever put together. Even though we have Aiden Hutchinson and other studs like a Jack Campbell that no one's talking about. But overall, right now, if you compare him with previous generations, like the Jim Schwartz era, obviously we don't have Nagamagatsu. We could sign him right now and just give him a retirement thing. That'd be amazing. That'd be cool. Come on, Detroit Lions. Hopefully you're listening. Just sign Nagamagatsu and retire him. Come on. Come on, man. It's cheap. Let's do it. Let's do good for him. Let's do it. All right? All right, not to get distracted with my hopes and dreams. So, now, in terms of corner depth, after those 2 picks, fantastic. And they were my top valued corners prior to the draft in terms of taking, especially in the man coverage department, which is huge. So I'm excited. Also, Terran Arnold's repping that 0, and his Rexstar is representing that 15. Love the numbers, love the confidence, and love their bond already. You got to catch all the OTA highlights from the DetroitLions.com. Now for round 4, we didn't have in round 3. Round 4 at pick 126, we have Giovanni Manu from British Columbia. I saw not much tape, so there's not much out there. But I believe in Brad Holmes. Like I said, any one of these picks is a gold star, automatic, whatever I know and do know or don't know, But hey, let's go. Big tackle, big relief for Taylor Decker in development, and hopefully his replacement, and hopefully he shines well into that. And that's the thing. Wishing Taylor Decker the best, and that's the thing. He's still going to be with us. And that's the thing. Frank Ragnow and him, I'm scared this season. I hope they stay healthy. It's my biggest concern for the O-line is their health. But overall, I do believe in them being in the best shape that they could possibly be for the season when it starts. Now, round 4, big shocker. Hopefully I say his name. Sion Vaki out of Utah, running back and safety. Did more safety than running back in Utah. But I think we're going to use him as a running back. We're going to use him. That's the thing. We're going to use him like a Swiss Army knife. Just jack of all trades. We're going to use him all over the field. So we'll see what happens. And that's the thing. Brad Holmes loves players that are multidimensional and versatile, which is fantastic. So special teams, all that, like he's going to be. So when we won't. That's the thing. When we have injuries and stuff like that, we'll have players such as this player that can step in different positions and be productive. And that's what I have trust in. Because that's the thing. We're getting worried about that, and that should be a word, because at the end of the day, no matter what team you assemble, not all guys are going to be there for the final game. That is this truth. Now, a 5th pick in round 6 at pick 189. Hopefully I say his name right. I got to learn all these names. Micah Wingo, D-tackle LSU. Woo, what a steal. Let's go. Now, we brought in Corey Reeder from Cincinnati, D-tackle for a multi-year deal. Great veteran to be in front of this developmental D-tackle. Get him going. We have Liam McNeil. Let's go. We built the front up a little bit. Even though you would wish, and a lot of fans were wanting edge and D-tackle drafted earlier, I trust in where we took Micah Wingo and what our defensive powers is going to be. Our cornerback was the weakest position in the depth chart of all positions, offense and defense. So I totally understand. But they'll try to say that they want draft need, but that's not really the case. Now, after that, we have Christian Mahogany. Hopefully I say his name right. Mahogany. Also round 6, pick 210, guard. Woo! Let's go. Added to the interior O-line depth that we need. Apparently it was a steal by a lot of NFL draft analysts. We'll see how that goes. See how his development goes. And that's the thing. In terms of round 6, what can you hope? But in terms of Brad Holmes, we've seen what he could do with that, and especially like Amon St. Brown, round 4. So back to who we take in the round 4. We took that running back, and we took that tackle in round 4. Look out what they can do, all right? Based on Brad Holmes' profile and history of drafting excellent players in round 4. So that's my little breakdown of Detroit Lions football. I'm going to have way more extensive talk about Detroit Lions football next Friday, 6 p.m. Tune in. I appreciate all of you watching this, letting me get this off my chest, because I am frustrated as a Detroit area fan that what is going on between the organizations that I love and dedicate time and effort, money, everything, and my soul to. But the Detroit Lions, thankfully, we have them going on. It's like the thing that is so good that it trumps that scale of good and bad. These other teams are some of the worst ever, though. That's the thing. Like Pistons' worst record ever. I mean, that's hard to process as someone that loves the Detroit Pistons. I'm saying it with ease, and I'm sure other people say these. It hurts. Okay, Red Wings didn't make play, but I trust everything there. And that's the thing. And then the Tigers, but at the end of the day, ownership, thank you so much, Sheila Hempfort. You're the best. And anyone that says is against that, you're crazy. And I would gladly defend her honor anytime. But overall, so yeah, not to get distracted with my love for Sheila Hempfort, just at the end of the day, this is something that I'm very appreciative of. And thank you all for watching. Not to get all distracted as I keep getting distracted, but thank you all for watching. And tune in next Friday, 6 p.m. Tune in for a good time talking about more extensive Detroit Lions talk as I break down the NFL schedule, how they give us all the primetime games. Not as much as New York Jets, but hey, and we don't have to travel out of the country, so that's a huge plus. Huge plus. All right. Well, hope you all can get through your off-season week that is now May. We're almost to June. Season doesn't start till September, end of August maybe. It's a rough ride, But all right, we'll catch y'all later.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I had a great time doing it. Thanks for your time watching, and please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. I also have a Instagram account at David Sports Convo. I also have a Twitch stream under with David SC, and then I have a Patreon account, uh, David Sports Convo. Check it all out for all of its each platform with its own exclusive content, doing everything related to this amazing sports world that we live in. Thank you all again for your time, and have a wonderful day.